what is upstream, and how do you handle it?
Ah, um, so remember I described that there are these thousands of different contributors who work in lots of different communities. Each of
Yes.
those communities would be interested in a particular piece of the puzzle. So they'd be really interested in, say, the software that you use to serve up web pages, or they might be really interested in the software that keeps track of your hard disk and your memory, or the graphic display, or the web browser. And so we call each of those individual projects, we call that a community, and there'll be anywhere between 5 and 50 or 500 people who work within that community. And we call that upstream because they're the prime innovators effectively. They do the research and development to figure out how to make each of those components better. And then the code flows from there to what we call distributions, which are guys like us. We aggregate and integrate all of those different pieces. And we make tough choices, but our main job is to select the components and to make sure that they fit together very well. And then in the process, if we find any issues or we fix any problems, we pass that back. So we push that code, as we say, back upstream.
That's interesting, and just the collaboration. There's just so much potential with collaboration. I just see open source type collaboration as a way to really advance versus the closed-minded advancement. Really letting everybody have a say, and obviously picking the best of these ideas and working with them. And that's what I think Ubuntu does so well, and why it's been so successful, because you're able to build these pieces and select the ones that work well together to really build a product that's quite successful. As far as Ubuntu, what's your take on free market versus regulation, and how it has helped or hindered Ubuntu distribution, and where do you see Ubuntu distribution going over the next few years?
So you mentioned collaboration as a powerful force, and I really want to emphasize that. I think that it's a powerful force which will touch on many different industries and many different sectors. Software is one of those sectors, and we see that most obviously in the free software community. But if you look at what's happened with Wikipedia and other collaborative, participative projects, it's just a very powerful way to figure out what the best road forward is. Free markets, in a very similar way, are a collaborative pricing mechanism. So this is a very interesting force that's been unleashed in economics generally, and it'll be interesting to see. It'll take us 20 years to understand how it all plays out. As for the future of Ubuntu, well, to a certain extent, that's a function of the direction of the free software community generally. I'm very interested in trying to solve challenges of design and usability at the moment, because I think that we already have very good means to solve some of the other traditional problems like security and performance and robustness and so on. So in Ubuntu we'll be trying to invest heavily in how we make that software very usable, and that's an appropriate thing for us to focus on, because we span all of those different projects. So rather than investing heavily in one particular project, we figure out how to make the sum of all of those pieces beautiful and easy to use. So that's where we'll be focusing some of our attention over the next year or two.
One last thing, I know we gotta let you go really quickly here. With a lot of people, I'd say in your position, being public figures, there's a lot of rumors flying around, and what I've noticed about you in general, because we've done a lot more research on you after we got this interview lined up, and you pretty much make your opinions, pretty well public on your own website. So I'm pretty safe in saying there is no rumor in the fact that you won't be cooperating with Microsoft anytime soon.
Well, if the opportunity to cooperate comes up, and it's something that's appropriate for us to do with our free software community, then we certainly would. I don't like the idea of saying you'd refuse to collaborate on principle. It's always better to engage and to try and find ways in which you can make your industry better together. And there are some things which we certainly share with Microsoft. We have a very strong desire to see the world get more connected, because the better the telecommunications infrastructure in the world, the greater the extent to which people can collaborate in our case, or use some of Microsoft's product in their case. So it would be wrong to characterize us as unable to interact with each other. But in many other areas, we don't have all that much in common.
Well, I'd say and once again, I just want to reiterate, and I mean this in all seriousness. My recent experience with the latest version of your operating system, I mean, in my mind, makes Microsoft a much better product because they really have to compete. I mean,
Yeah, we are seeing the benefits of that. If you look at some of their latest work, it clearly shows signs of being stimulated by that competition, which is great.
Fantastic. Well, Blake, do you have
Absolutely, and we're definitely. I just want to for our listeners who are interested, and definitely we promote Ubuntu on our show, and we endorse your product 100%. How would our listeners go about finding Ubuntu, using Ubuntu, and learning more about yourself and the project?
The very best way is to start at ubuntu.com, and Google will get them there. And we have a very rich community of folks who will answer questions on the forums or help people when they run into trouble. So if folks are interested, especially if they have a personal interest in technology and they want some sort of insight into where things are going in the future, it's a really useful way to broaden your understanding of technology, and it's been an interest that's paid off very handsomely for me in the past. And generally, I find people who do dive in find it very rewarding.
I noticed you're a snowboarder, so if you're ever in Utah or Idaho, man, hit me up.
I'm told that Utah is the place, so sooner or later I'll get there.
It is the place. Well, if you ever get out there, man, hit me up, and I'll take you snowboarding.
All right, stay well. Look after yourself.
All right, Mark, take it easy.
All right, Mark, thank you.